Hi, I'm Vic with Driven to Success, and we have just wrapped up an amazing episode. David and I spent about 45 minutes with your aftermarket colleagues, and we talked about what do we have to be thankful for. So take a listen to this episode, either in its entirety or bit by bit. Either way, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. All right, let's get on into the conversation. So, as we prepare for the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday, we thought we'd gather a few of our aftermarket friends to look at the past year. What shaped us and what's carrying us forward. This industry is built on relationships and a whole lot of heart. Thanksgiving gives us the perfect moment to slow down, look around, and appreciate the people who keep the world of independent repair shops thriving. All right, so today from across the US and across the aftermarket, we've got partners here to talk about stories of growth, gratitude, challenges, and small moments that made the biggest impact. So, from our family to yours, I want to thank you for being part of this journey. And I want to introduce my co host, an all around great guy, David Wofford. So, David, just wave right now.
How
All
did I
right.
do?
You did good.
Nice.
Now, I'm going to go around the horn here. I got Pepper Wilson from the Pronto Network, Wave Pepper, Steve Ing, Pronto Network, Julie Fowler from the Parts House, Matt Porter from Fast Undercar on the West Coast. Thanks for getting here early. Chris Cloutier from AutoFlow up in Dallas, Texas, and my partner in crime and my really good friend, David Wofford of the Pronto Network. David, kicking it to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Vic. As always, you make me look better than I am. So I do. I mean, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to just kind of back up for a minute and really what has impacted me over the last year. And a couple of y'all on this call actually know in depth a little bit more than what I'm going to go into today. But the first one on my list is I'm thankful for God. And it's been an emotional year for me. And he hadn't given up on this poor soul yet. And so I'm really thankful for that. And then I started thinking about, what else am I thankful for? And I'd mentioned to Vic, you a little bit earlier, it all kind of came down to people, relationships, people. So really the very first one on my list is my wife. And most of y'all do not know this, but last night was our 43rd wedding anniversary. Absolutely. Thank you. And, the good news is when you reach 40, 41, 42, 43 years, I'm feeling a little bit safe in that aspect because she has already said she doesn't have it in her to train another guy. Um, she is stuck with me and I'm stuck with her. And she has been the person that has kept me between the ditches all these years. Quickly got into, family. So another unique opportunity that happened this last year is, we built a house and built it closer to, for the first time in a long time, both my kids are in the same general area. And of course, with kids, I've got three grandsons, and newest one happened in the last year, and so it's really so much of it has been the opportunity for all of us to constantly be together. And with the house, it's been a blessing because it's just like feels like home.
Mhm.
And, the grandkids come over and the doors open, they go in two different directions and all over creation. It's really, really been, it's something that touches my heart every time everybody shows up in the driveway. We all have time to spend together. And then really the work environment. I do have a pretty cool environment and get to deal with a lot of independent wholesalers that are out there versus a huge big box, where sometimes you become a number. And so, a lot of great people out there. I've got two in specific that really, really keep me between the ditches, and that's Sue and Freddie. Those two support so much because at times I'm a road warrior, and so they just really jump in there and help out. So it absolutely is people. Get to work with everybody that's on this call today, and we all work for a common cause, and that's to support our customer base. And as I say, everything in the parts business can be fixed. Any issues that
Mhm.
come up, they're all fixable. But bottom line, that's my thankful moment is the people in my life.
Well, David, I love your perspective that everything can be fixed. And as you and I work together, especially over this year. So one of the things I've heard you is you talking to your clients, the customer base that we both work with, is everything can be fixed. The only thing one time it can't be fixed is when we give up, we get frustrated. Two heads together will go ahead and fix that. I'm gonna come over to Chris because Chris, I know you gotta jump out here shortly, and I love to go. Ladies go first. So ladies, if you're okay with this, I'm gonna go to Chris Cloutier of AutoFlow. So
Absolutely.
Chris, go right ahead. Please let us know what you're thankful for over the last year.
You know what, Vic? I'm gonna tell you this. My mom actually wanted me to be a little girl, so when I was younger, she grew my hair real long, and
Uh,
in the crib, they'd take me to church, and one day my hair was super long. I guess I was super pretty back then, if you could believe it, and a lady comes up and goes, "Oh my god, you have such a beautiful little girl," and then my mom cut my hair after that, and then it all fell out, so yeah, so I appreciate I kinda feel like I could be a lady, so I even though I'm getting put in front of the ladies.
I was
So,
wondering where that was going.
it was going yeah, it was there's always a point to my story. Might not be a good one, but there's a point. So I just came back. I said, David, your ears must have been burning because I one of the things I'm thankful for is I've been starting to support a company. So I'm also an auto repair shop owner. I own two auto repair shops, Golden Rule Auto Care in Dallas, Texas. We're actually about to open a third one in January. We'll have a third auto repair shop, which is amazing and great, and we have great people. But I was driving back from a car that we just gave away. This is organization called On Ramp DFW, and what they do is they work with other organizations to give a hand up to people who need cars, who have jobs, who they're just in a bad situation. And it's this great organization. And as I was driving away, I'm like, I am so thankful that I'm in a position to help them fix these cars. So we don't charge them any labor. We just charge them parts. And that's why I had David on my mind. I'm like, I got to get David because me and David had talked about this before. And I'm like, man, I got to find a way to get the parts companies to help us, because anything that they can do to take the expense out and make their dollars go further is better for them. And watching this family with this young boy get this car, like it puts in a perspective of like, wow, we're really blessed that I get to be in a position to where I'm watching this, right? And I don't need the car, they do separately. And so it's just those small things that I'm thankful for. Third shop I'm thankful for. And every morning I journal, I read the Bible, I read scripture, I'm into the word, I pray, and I have to say something when I'm journaling that I'm thankful for from the prior day, and it can't be the same thing. And I've been doing this for going on 3 years now. So it makes you think about the micro instances of thankfulness every day. And it's funny, this morning, I part of my journal was I was thankful that me and my wife got to go eat dinner and we got to do our lunch yesterday and we had this conversation about this one thing, right? And y'all don't need to know what the one thing was. It wasn't about me having hair or anything like that, or turning in a female. I'm not transitioning or anything. Like it was just this little micro minute that I get to spend with my wife going to lunch with your spouse. And we've been
Mhm.
only married for I think 24 years now, David, not 43. Congratulations, by the way. But how cool is that me and my wife can still go to lunch and just spend a couple minutes together and have a great conversation.
Right.
So it's those small things that I'm super thankful for too. And the position I'm in, God's been good, extremely good.
Love it. The small moments, and I love the fact that you're journaling, and I admire that too because I'm one of those I want to journal. I'll give you an example. I ran across a journal the other day, and it's like looked at the first entry, it was like 2000, and then I looked at the next one, it was 2014. But during this time, I went from struggling as a shop owner, and then to selling my shop, and then to working as a coach, and it was really interesting because he had these big gaps of time. So I'm a every 5 year journal.
It still counts, I
Yeah,
guess.
it does.
It
It's
still
like
counts.
I'm not as good as you, Chris. I'm not as good as you.
It is something I'm gonna tell you this, it is something that is extremely hard, but I have gotten it it's once you create that habit, then it's easy, and now after a couple years now, it's just something I do. It's automatic, which is wonderful, and I would suggest it for anybody. If it's a habit, if you really want to start your day off and, in my opinion, be in control of your day instead of being reactive, you're proactive. I also read part of a book every morning. Like, I don't let anybody take that time because it's my time. Because usually we wake up and it's like, phone. Oh crap, there's fire. Oh no, somebody needs this. It's like, no, I'm gonna take my time, spend it with the Lord and spend it on Chris. So I think it's
Exactly.
super, so it's a
You're
wonderful things.
Very good.
planting, and watering first.
There you go.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, so I see Sue popped in. Sue, you're not on video, but I'd say wave, but nobody see you. How you doing this morning, Sue? Ah, no Sue. All right, so Pepper, you want to go next?
Yeah, Chris, that's hard to follow. I'm definitely feeling inspired after listening to you, though. um, but definitely
I
number
don't
one
know if
thing,
that's good or bad, by the way. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what you're inspired by, so
I might not start journaling right away, but very inspirational. But both as David and Chris mentioned, number one, God, thankful for his presence in our family and around our industry as well. Number two, family. I'm grateful for my boyfriend and our little girl who's now 2.5.
Nice.
Time is flying by, but it's just so fun every day to watch her grow and develop. And the little attitudes coming out, I'm not sure where she got that from.
Oh,
To see her grow.
I think I know. Steve's got a secret.
And also my coworkers who have become like family. I had the opportunity to work with a bunch of the people from the Pronto Network when I was on the WD level from the parts house, and to be able to grow within my career as a delivery parts driver all the way up to being the marketing program manager at the Pronto Network. It's just unreal how it's all worked out. Couldn't be happier for the progress that I've made, and couldn't be happier working with the team family that I'm working with today.
Yeah, families, we keep coming back to this, and that's why I look at you guys. You guys are like an aftermarket family to me. The fact you're now part of the driven success family. So thank you for being a part of that.
Vic, Pepper, and
Absolutely.
I get the opportunity. We get some of the fun stuff to be able to go out and see a lot of our service centers and take them. There's trips about twice a year, that small trips. We have very neat opportunities out there. And really one of the pieces that I see, and it's really kind of a highlight, and I might even embarrass Pepper on this, but all of a sudden, she was talking about her daughter, but all of a sudden she'll sneak away and just I got to see her. I got to see her. And Pepper, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome there. And yes, I did notice.
Yeah, yeah, and, I'm thankful to have a job with a company that has the great work-life balance, because that is huge for me, as I'm sure it's important for everybody else in the industry as well, so very thankful for that.
Well, and it's an easy thing for our service center to lose sight of that because we're in when I was a shop owner, we're in the business of serving people. And that is a massive part of this reward of working with people. We're here to serve. And what can happen is times is we lose sight of that. And then we have challenges outside the shop because we're so focused on taking care of our clients. I like to share with people. It's like, yeah, one morning we were opening Christmas gifts and I got a call from one of my clients. It's like, hey, I need you to come charge my AC in my driveway. And guess what? I did. I'm not proud of that moment, but that's a life lesson I share with a lot of younger shop owners is you have got to take care of home first. You've got to take care
Absolutely.
of home first. And, the fact that we as an industry, we here provide that level of support and encouragement to do that. And I really hope shop owners hear that is focus on the family because that's one thing you will never regret taking care of above everything else. Well,
Mhm.
all right. Well, thank you, Pepper. Julie, you're on the
Yeah.
East Coast. So you're on the East Coast, Matt's on the West Coast. So tell me a little bit about East Coast Florida life.
Yeah, so I am super thankful for a lot of things this year. So, first and foremost, I'm excited to be here today because I was telling Pepper earlier, I was like, man, this is my lifelong dream to be a guest on a podcast. So, I'm happy to be here, of course, but similar to a lot of the stories shared. So this past year I had really impactful for my family. So in July, we welcomed our second boy to my family. So
Nice. Yeah.
very, very blessed to have very smooth delivery and have just the hospital care to be taken care of. Everything went great. So now I have a 4-month old and just really thankful for a lot of things just involving that. Like, first and foremost, my team here. I felt like when I came back to work, everything was so seamless. Like, I can't thank my team enough for really making it seem like I had somebody tell me, like, oh, yeah, I was Julie, it was almost like you were still here. You just weren't on the meeting. So everything ran great. So lots of things to be thankful for. The people here at work, of course, my family and my friends who helped supported me through the nightmare, but also super blessing of lack of sleep and everything involved with all the emotions that you go through. Many people, even on this call, reached out to me when I was on maternity leave. So just even having that professional connection of people checking in on me to see how everything was going just meant so much, and just makes me really love this community, because I had people within the company, outside the company, but really in the automotive space, just, hey, Julie, how are you doing? Can't wait for you to come back. Want to make sure that you're doing well, and just supporting me there. So super thankful, and an exciting year so far for me to celebrate.
Wonderful. It kind of goes back to what David said at the beginning, people. You know,
Hmm.
that's the constant theme through that I'm seeing throughout this is people. People support, love, care. That's what we're all about. Thank you. And also feel free to chime in and interrupt like David did earlier. David, thank you for just, popping in and going, "Hey, I got a question. I got a
Well,
thought."
I do have some, I guess, comment for Julie. And absolutely, as you're raising kids, and thankfully, I've forgotten about all those sleepless nights.
Mhm.
But with that being said, I will tell you, when you go to round number 2, which is grandkids, if all of a sudden you start feeling a little bit fatigued and tired, get in the car and go home. You just send them home, right? We can do this again next weekend. Grandpa's tired. The second round is always a lot easier.
Well, hopefully I have some time for that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to come over to Mr. Porter. Went from the East Coast with Julie to the West Coast with Matt Porter on the Ventura, California area.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and thanks for having all of us, I guess. And I thought I would start off with just kind of it just popped into my head as we were all talking this morning, but I guess this is a silly one, but not really. I'm thankful for Vic and David for coming out to our open house. And if I could just share just a quick little shot here, but I don't know if y'all can see that, but this was our open house, and lo and behold, you kind of start looking around, and every vendor's gone. They've all closed up, and I look, and this is the sight I see. So I know that these two had a good time, and we all appreciated them coming out and supporting the local fast undercar here. So thank you to
Who's
both
that
of you.
good-looking guy? Oh, that's me. Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy in the brown jacket. That's me.
No, he's already folded up. He's done.
I know. I'm full of. You see how patient I'm looking? It was cold there that night.
But the funny part was, I thought, wow, Vic looks like he's never heard this spiel before, but I gotta believe he's heard it at least a few times, you
And
know?
What David was seriously captivating. That's why I couldn't move. I was frozen where I was standing.
No, it's getting deep. Anyway, Matt, I appreciate that. You know what happens to me when I get out there and I end up on the soapbox, and we're engaged, and that your customer base was absolutely fantastic. They were engaged, and I get towards I just don't see anything around me. It's that focus is
Yeah,
right there. So I had a great time too.
in a zone, they say. I've got a few things I guess I thought about on the drive in this morning, just kind of, on a personal side. I guess I've gotten the question the last, I guess handful of days, and obviously your timing's right with the topic. You start getting a little bit reflective, and how's it going? And I kind of think to myself, it's been a year of just not a lot of complaints, just it hasn't been probably super magical, but it's just pretty steady. So I guess I'm pretty thankful for my health. I guess our local family here, we're all pretty healthy. We've got some people, as everybody's got, kind of on the outside that are having troubles. So when you sit down and think about, your immediate family, we're pretty blessed that we have that going on. I guess, and another thing, just I'm thankful. I guess our son he's in college, headed into his senior year, but decided to move home, and so we've been getting some extra quality time with him to finish up locally at school, which has been pretty darn neat. So I'm pretty thankful for that. He's taken up a little liking of cigars, and we don't do it often, but maybe once a month, it's pretty cool to be able to sit down for an hour and really have them, face to face and captive. So that's pretty exciting. I guess on the business side of things, I'll throw another silly one out, but in sales, it's important to us. But I think it took me 2.5, 3 years to talk our inventory folks into adding Bilstein to the repertoire. So I've been excited for having another shock and strut to sell, or high performance shock and strut to sell. And then I guess on the business side, we had a little bit of a reorg, I guess I will say, on the Parts Authority side, and it's been good from the standpoint of a little bit of a decrease in travel. I guess thinking about the industry, it's definitely allowed me to spend a little more time in my backyard and really get to kind of maybe broaden some relationships with the existing shops. And then, I think that, it's definitely it's been a challenging year, I think, business wise, for a lot of independent repair shops. The time has allowed me to really kind of learn what their struggles are and try and arm ourselves with, as David says, how do you fix the problem, right? How do we help? And that's really been super beneficial to me, to my sales team, and really to our, even bleeding into our operational team. How important is the little things, right?
Mhm.
And the last thing I guess I'd say is just on the business side is, just our work family. Kind of the same thing, right? I think everybody had super high hopes for 2025 and the summer, and the deferred maintenance and everything like that. And it's been good, but it's had its challenges for sure. But it seems like as a group, we've just done a really nice job. We prepared well, we've executed really well, and most of the stuff that's caused any issues has been on the outside. So I guess the reason why I'm thankful for that would be just simply that I think our team was ready to meet the customer's needs when we started the year, and we've definitely broadened that relationship of trying to help them, and that's just kind of what we set our mind to every.
Well, excuse me, when David and I came out there, it was really cool to see the heart of the company and how they're following your heart. You love your customers, you care about your customers, your team cares about your customers. You can tell that you guys are about the relationships, and that is very, to me, very special and very important. And I had some time. David did too. We went out with Roger, spent some time with your customers. But one of the things we did do was go to that barbecue joint that Roger loves. Man, that was good. So thank you for being a great,
Said the Texas guy.
Yeah, yeah. It was, yeah, from a Texas guy.
There you go.
Barbecue is a big deal down here, and to have it in California, that was a really good barbecue joint.
Barbecue done right is a big deal.
Yes, yes, yeah. Not just barbecue. It's not just on the grill. But thank you for having us out there and being so great hospitality, and definitely give Roger our love and tell him that we said,
Absolutely.
all right, Steve Eng.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Well, thank you guys. Thanks, Matt, for that. Thank you, Vic and Dave, for having us on. This is a real treat. Just like Julie, I never thought I'd be able to be a guest on a podcast, so this is a checklist off the bucket list. And I do want to say I'm second to most everybody here. First and foremost, I want to thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for all that He does for us every day. Just thankful to be alive. Gone through a whole lot of medical stuff in the last year, and just very thankful for family, my wife, my understanding wife, with our crazy lives and travel with our babies. It's a struggle and a juggle. And I'm very thankful that she understands and that she's like my best support system I could possibly ask for. So I thank my wife. I hope I make it to the 40-year mark like Dave, and a 20-some year mark. I'm shooting for that. It's really encouraging and inspiring. I also want to thank. I'm thankful for my colleagues, the company that I work for. I feel very blessed to be a part of this industry in whole. I think most of us don't stop and think to really just kind of take it all in, right? We spend a lot of time in the air, spend a lot of time on the road. We don't get a chance to really appreciate all that's around us. Like Julie said, during her time, while she was out, it's nice and encouraging to get some text messages and some phone calls from people in the industry saying, "Hey, are you okay, bro? Are you dead? Are you cool?" And it's very, very nice to know that we're everyone outside of our daily duties. We're just regular people too, right? We got family, we got issues, we got the daily struggles, and just thankful to be in this industry. Thankful for my colleagues and my associates. Some of you guys, I've grown very close to in the past years. Phone call away, text message away. I think a lot of people take that for granted, right? Like, hey, I'm a phone call away or text message away. I mean, a lot of people say that. It's kind of cliche, but when it comes down to it, you text message that person, you call that person, they're not really there for you. They're like, I've got it busy. Like, text me back next year, or whatever. But to have certain folks in my life, family is really important to me. And thank God every day for my family. And just like Dave said, that some of us, our work family, we lean in a lot on them, whether it's spiritually or emotionally, just support wise. We spend a lot more time with each other than some of our families,
True.
So very, very thankful for that. I'm just also final thoughts. I'm thankful for all of you guys, honestly. Vic, I've seen him all around the country.
Yeah.
We could be out in the East Coast. I just saw Vic. I mean, even if it's like that 5-minute run in, at Apex, what we did, we laughed for 5 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't see each other for 6 months to a year or whatever. But when we do, it's like you just hit the continuation button, right? I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, and wish everybody a awesome 2026. It'll be an awesome year coming up.
You had the opportunity to meet Steve up at Knowles Auto Parts and just establish an immediate connection. And one is based on faith, which was really cool. And let me share my thoughts of what I'm thankful for. My Heavenly Father and the grace that He's given me to overcome the challenges throughout the years. Every day, I have the opportunity to be faced with challenges. And what's great? Challenges can be overcome. What's even better about challenges, and I looked, it was kind of a weird one. Matt, you talked about this is a weird one to be thankful for, but I'm thankful for challenges because it gives us the opportunity to grow, get stronger, look back and go, well, it's not that big a deal, that big of a bump. It did help us grow. My wife of 44 years, and we're on our 46th right now. And we've known each other for 46, and she's my best friend. She's my partner in crime. Sorry, David. Marley's my partner in crime 1. Your partner in crime 2. And without her, I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys. And I'm grateful for the people in this industry. I'm grateful for the opportunities it's afforded me, the relationships that we've built, the opportunities to meet each of you guys. And I haven't met you in person, Julie, but I've met every one of you guys, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to meet you. When we get open, maybe get over there, or we connect at another industry event. And I would say that this is one of the absolute best industries from a people standpoint. David and I at the beginning, we were talking about it, and that's the one thing. If you weave through all of what we're thankful for, people are right there. Family, friends, colleagues, customers. That's what makes this industry great and what it is. All right, I'm gonna go
so
around.
Vic had to be the overachiever. I said 43 years. He said 44. I don't know if y'all picked up on that, but he's always got to one up me on everything. And,
me?
You. So, I just want to make mention, and I'm going to kind of put Steven on the spot for a second, and just let everybody know, he made a major commitment. And this major commitment was he wanted to get to Texas as fast as he could. I don't know if it's the hat. I don't know if it's the boots. Him and Jeannie decided, you know what, we want a little bit different environment. and it was huge for him to make that commitment to move from one state to another. So he's left his whole family, and it sounds bad to say it that way, but he did. He had to leave his whole family in another state to come here, and so that support function is long distance at this point, and they've really done a heck of a job making a transition and a move like that. I can't imagine how challenging and difficult it could have been. And so you're right, Stephen. I mean, we're there for you any way we can, and you guys have done a fantastic job because number one, you made a commitment from here, from the heart. There's major reasons why you wanted to get here as fast as you could, and I don't think it was the hat because I haven't seen it yet, and I don't think it was the boost because I haven't seen it
I
yet.
do that.
Maybe you've got a pony in your backyard.
Christmas
I don't know.
gift.
Barbecue, what are you talking about?
Oh, I
Right?
forgot. There we go. There we go. And again, was hoping that Sue could get on, and maybe some technical difficulties on that side, but she has been a
My
true
gosh.
blessing to the entire Pronto Network team. And then I'm gonna expand it out so much more. She is the first face you see, and it may be a voice, but it's the first person that you see when the phone calls come in. And she's I can say this, she's a pistol. I mean,
Mhm.
she keeps me on my toes and really supports the membership. And when I'm running around the country, that's one of the first people that comes to my, hey, who's Sue? What does she look like? I've not seen her, and so we're trying to get her out to some of the events. And recently, she went. We did a full training event down at the Speedway for Concho Supply, and so she was able to help us out with that as well. And so, again, true blessing for Miss Sue from the entire Pronto Network team.
Wonderful, David. Thank you. All right. Final thoughts. I'm going to go around the room. We're going to start with Pepper, Steve, Julie, Matt, David. Any final thoughts, Pepper?
No, just extending the thankfulness not only to my coworkers, but to everybody else in the industry that I've gotten to meet, from our WD members, working with their sales reps too. And then, as David mentioned, going on our promotional reward trips, getting to connect with those service center owners, some technicians. So it's really great to just network, meet everybody from every aspect of the automotive aftermarket, and get to grow those relationships.
Pepper.
I just want to say, Pepper, I mean, she does a fantastic job out there. I used to do these events by myself, and guys aren't as detailed, I guess. And so she's doing everything to remember their names, and I was the other way. I'm like, here's a sticker, put it on your shirt so I can remember who you are. And so she does a fantastic job. Definitely, as the trips progress, Pepper, I appreciate the teamwork on that. Now, right here, you're supposed to turn around and say, Dave, you do a great job as well, because I want to make sure that people at the Pronto Network hear all this.
Right back at you.
Very good.
No, we
Very
have
good.
so much fun on these trips. I have some pictures that we can't share, some good stories that we can't
What?
share. But just know that we all have a good time with these customers that win these trips. So much fun.
It's just for the customers, right, Pepper?
That's right. That's right. They're strictly working, strictly professional. They have a good time.
Steve, final thoughts.
Yeah, though, I wanted to again, just want to thank everybody here and our industry in whole. Like Pepper said, we truly are in the aftermarket. We're in a very unique industry, and just want to let everybody know that if I've crossed paths with you, I'm very thankful. If you see me, come up, say hi. We try to be all over the place, but there's only so many places we can be. Or some folks like Matt, I haven't had a chance to see you yet out in the West, but hopefully at another industry event we can link up. I'm just very very glad that my transition from the supplier side over to the buying group side, and now I'm able to work, as my calling, right? I'm able to work in a different, uh, uh, aspect or what's the word? I'm trying to think.
Environment.
Capacity,
There you go.
environment. You take the good, take the bad, make it work, right? Thought I knew the industry, thought I knew a little bit about the industry. Boy, was I wrong. Like when coming from the supplier side over to
Right.
the group side, it really opened up my eyes, and it's given me the opportunity to work in different levels that I've never ever dreamed of working. And so, yeah, just very thankful for the experience and opportunity.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
Julie.
Oh, real quick, Vic,
Yeah, go
one,
ahead.
Yeah.
Stephen coming from the supplier side, when I first met Stephen, he was with Mala and I was at the parts house
It's
and
Mando, actually.
Mando, I'm sorry. Yes, Mando. I'm sorry. So when I met Stephen, he was with Mando and he would email me all the time. He would call all the time. I'm like, who is this guy? Next thing you know, he's in Jacksonville and we're out to eat, having a good time. So yeah, and that's one shout out that I didn't give was to our manufacturers, to our suppliers who make these on my side, the promotions successful and the ability to actually put them on for our WD members and our service centers. So thankful for that relationship as well.
For sure. So, final thoughts. I think probably, I don't know, I'm just taking a guess out here, but I feel like a lot of people on this call have probably been in the industry their whole time. And I think a lot of what we're thankful for that we've mentioned is this industry. But I spent 10 years in a different industry. So when I say I'm very thankful for this industry, it definitely paints the picture of I don't know, more truth, if you will, because I've seen, I came from the tech industry and, there's some things that are similar, but it's not this. I went to networking type of groups and conferences and everything like that. And there would be some people I would see over and over at the same type of stuff, but it is nowhere near what I have developed. And I've only been in this industry and with XL Parts, the parts house for 3 years. So very small stint when you consider some of the experience of the people that I work with. So it's just really night and day and all the different layers here. I'm able to speak with you all as part of the group and now meeting you, Vic, and we mentioned the suppliers. There's so many different that yes, you may have switched seats in within the industry, but seeing what it's like outside of it, it just makes me like, okay, great, I've found it. I'm not leaving. Like you can kick me out, but I'm going to find somewhere else within the industry, if you will. So I just am really thankful just to be part of it. You just really feel like you're part of something that goes beyond my desk and my office and it's just the connection and really the relationships. So I guess I'll just paint that it's different. Some of you may have spent all of your time here and you don't realize how different and how thankful, if you will. So very thankful for that.
Thanks, Julie.
Yeah, I guess, to carry on the theme, I would say, it's something that we don't hire salespeople all that often, but I know we always preach about the connectedness within the industry. It's, as Dave, you say, starts with a typical bad day, right? So grandma's water pump goes out or whatever, and, car somehow gets to the shop. That shop somehow, decides, grandma, we gotta replace your water pump, and then they gotta pick up the phone, they gotta make a phone call, maybe they call first call, they don't have a part, they call you, you got the part, you gotta pull the part, you gotta pack the part, you gotta get the part over there, they gotta install the part, the manufacturer had to build the part, right? It's just it's a really cool connected industry. I think that that's something that is always um gets lost in the shuffle, I guess, a lot of times. It definitely in the day to day, you kind of forget it. But I had a situation yesterday, walked downstairs, and here's my dispatcher. Looks like he's going to have a heart attack. And it's, well, shop called and said, I don't have my parts. And it's like, well, wait a minute. The driver was there. It looks like he delivered them. Driver's on lunch. He's not answering his cell phone. I mean, it's a very connected industry. And I think that's what gets a lot of people excited. I guess, Julie, I've been doing this longer than you. It hasn't been my whole life, but it's been more than 3 years. But I guess just, hey, great timing on the topic. I think that on a Friday before a holiday week, perfect timing to take a minute and really think about it. So just a happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas to you all.
Likewise, likewise. All right, David, you get the second last word. I get the law of the microphone. I've got it last.
See,
Just
here
so
we
he
go.
can
He just
whatever
did
you
it.
say.
Yeah. I've been keeping hash marks here. You know, he's I've been
You
writing
must
down
have
hash
pages
marks
of
on
it.
paper. Yeah, he's about 6 up on me just in the last 45 minutes. So, you know, I've mentioned this to folks, and I kind of joke about it. But yes, I mean, one of the ways I kind of judge my days, I'm thankful when I can be, you know, I tell God gave me another day to be vertical, and you know, everybody just kind of chuckles and laughs and that kind of bit. And you know, with everything that's happened to this chassis and the number of surgeries, there's a little bit of truth to that, you know. But bottom line, it's you know, the opportunity to, you know, be able to be up, be out and about, be able to be in the environment of the automotive aftermarket, which covers so many different aspects of it. And it got right back down to, you know, what is the automotive aftermarket? It's people. And that's what really makes this up. And I think our industry, Julie, you made mention most people that listen to this podcast are going to be from this automotive industry. And I will tell you, it really depends on who gains exposure to Driven to Success. And so my daughter is not from this industry. Yes, she sees the fun that I have, and if she wasn't so far into her industry, she'd probably make a change. But she has shared this podcast with some of her friends. Again, they're all outside of the industry. And next thing you know, one of them's calling me and said, "Remember me? You know, you're the guy that was up in the," because we would go watch all of her friends. What was it? We would go to the softball games, and I was a heckler in the stands, and then they
Heckler.
digressed from softball to kickball, and the name of their team was Softball Dropouts. And so, with all that being said, I was still the heckler. So some of our friends know me, and then one of them calls me, "Hey, you know, I've listened to your podcast, and it's like to understand and talk to you a little bit more about what's out there." And most people think, as Matt had talked about, most people think, well, it's, you know, a technician repairing a car. Or, wait a minute, you know, David's in auto parts, so it's flinging auto parts across the counter. No, there's so much more to it. There's, you know, there's marketing, there's sales, there's operations, there's accounting, you know, there's, you know, all different aspects. There's even a couple of lawyers out there. I guess I better put a plug. But, you know, bottom line, we get back to it, and you got to think about, and Julie, you've been outside the industry, and so you've got a way to reflect on where I was past industry, where I'm at now. I've been in this industry all my life. I mean, yeah, was there industries I was in? It was so long ago. It was when in teenage years. I mean, I got into this industry as a teenager, and so, you know, my resume before auto parts is pretty short. You know, it's about 3 years worth of, you know, being in another industry. So I didn't really, back then you don't pay attention to anything. You just, you're a teenager, right? You're bulletproof. Uh, no, I'm very thankful that you know, I've had the opportunity to run that career path in several different modes and several different positions, and you got to have fun. You got to have fun whatever you do. And so, to me, it is a blessing because I do know some folks that are in other industries, and you know, it is just a struggle to get through the day. And so the piece of advice I've got for them, and I know it's not easy to do, but the piece of advice is if you're not charged up, if you're not happy, if you're not having fun at what you do, maybe it is time for a change. And you know, it's time for a, you know, a career change, an industry change. You know, what else is out there, and do a little bit of homework. I will tell you, this podcast hopefully does help an individual or two understand that. Sure, you got to earn a paycheck. That's what makes the world go round. But at the same time, have fun.
Well, wonderful, David. Thank you. And, you know, all my panelists, thank you. I did save the best for last, though. And the best for last is this, is I've known David for 25 years. It was a relationship forged in fire over the years. And I got to tell you this, I am so grateful that you are alongside us in me in this seat of Driven to Success. I mean, you know, our chemistry is great. And I just want to tell you how thankful I am that you are alongside us and give us the opportunity to talk about some cool stories and to get the exposure to the folks inside the Pronto Network. David, thank you for being here. And thank each and every one of you guys who participated today. And to our listeners, Happy Thanksgiving. Remember, there's always something to be thankful for, no matter where you're at. Till next time.
Thank you. Happy
Thanks, everyone.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.